I know we got timetables, and I'll try to keep my comments very short and also get to your questions as quickly as I can. I want to first, though, talk about Coach Washington, his staff, the North Carolina A&T team. I understand. I liked them on tape a lot, but now I understand why they win championships. They're a really good football team. I thought on defense, their linebackers and their two safeties, and I found the two safeties, I couldn't get to the linebackers, played as well as anybody we've played against. They're fierce, and I know why they've been as stingy as they've been. Getting back to us, the first responsibility for the lack of discipline is on me. We've had 2 weeks where we've been penalized, and a lot of them are discipline penalties. And, I mean, people said, why don't you address it? Obviously, we thought we had, and I haven't done a good enough job, and we have to address that for us to move forward as a team. Second thing is we really got to work hard at tackling better. That was very evident that in the first half we could have we stopped their run game with the exception of the 166-yard run, but we've got to tackle better. Then offensively, besides the penalties and the discipline, way too many wasted plays, putting ourselves in behind the chains, 1st and 10, then it's 2nd and 9, and there's just too much of that going on. And when you get behind the chains, you don't convert well. We didn't convert well at all in the first half. We got much better, but we count 3rd and 4th downs. We were 9 of 20 for the game in conversions, and we've got to be better than that when we play against any opponent. But very pleased with some people getting better. We got some outstanding freshmen on both sides of the ball. Quentin Harris played very well. His first home victory as a starting quarterback. Congratulations to him. And, there's just a lot of things we're going to look at this and love. If we will just take the inconsistencies out of what we're doing from a discipline standpoint, 9 penalties and 97 yards is surrendering yards way too easy. Kicking game, for the most part, was really good. Anytime you can get a block punt, really 2 block punts, and did a great job of our coverage. I think we got a chance at being special in that regard. So I'm going to go ahead and let you ask your questions.
What did you see from Quentin in the offense in the second quarter when they really got things rolling there? What was different? What was going better there?
Well, I think when we did a little better job as a staff, kind of putting them in some better circumstances. They're not easy. And it takes sometimes a quarter to play a team that's really good, in and out of quarters coverage, in and out of man coverage, in and out of pressures of different kinds. When you got 8, 9, 54, and 23, and you're dealing with as a quarterback, that's a lot to deal with, and they're good. So I think it got settled in. We helped him, and he helped himself by seeing a little better.
Coach Washington prides himself on winning the kicking game every week. You didn't win the kicking game tonight. How big of a priority was that for Purdue winning that?
That's, obviously always huge for us. But we knew coming in the game how good. They won the game a week ago with their kicking game, not only the long field goal, but the punt return that preceded that possession. They're a great return team. Their kicker is really stepping up, doing a great job, punter. So we knew. And we put an emphasis in that area, and Kirk Benedict's become a special teams coordinator. He does a great job, and I think our players are really bought into it, and that's something for us to win. We're going to have to continue that.
Jalen Calhoun had a big night tonight. How has he come in so quickly and transitioned from being a wide receiver in high school, I guess, to
quarterbacks kind of traditionally seem to make those transitions. What he is and what we thought when we had him, and committed him and signed him, he's just a ball player. I don't know if we put him at corner, he wouldn't be. You understand what I'm saying. He's the guy that's going to get picked first on the playground every time. He just has a natural feel for the game. I think also by playing quarterback, you kind of learn assignments of everybody on offense, and so he can fit at a lot of places for us. And I was really proud of him, proud of Eli Pankel. They're both playing the same position in the absence of Jake Bobo, who I've said over and over and over is our best receiver. And Jake's gotten a little bit of work. Jake may have to play outside some. Jake will be mad when he hears about that. But, you know, I'm just we've got to continue to build some depth there and build trust. And I think Quentin has really developed some trust in those young guys.
You broke this game open late in that second quarter. You've been around this game a long time. You had a team score 21 points in 2 minutes, 31.
When you blend the kicking game with defense and offense, that's what happens. We show film in this room right here of blends. We go back 4 years, 6 years. We showed a 28-point blend against a conference opponent. I'm not going to pick on them by saying, but it's something we try to sell as a team. When we put a good series together defensively, then a great kicking play and a good series together offensively, you can run up 21 points in a hurry. It's kind of always what I've always, as a head coach, coached teams to buy into. And I believe it's the best way to win games. But it takes all three phases playing together, and when you do that, and I was really tickled with our second quarter.
When you have, going back to Jalen, when you have young players, bring them along and you know that they could be something special, we'll call it, how do you do that without, pushing too hard or laying off too much and, they get indifferent?
Our practices probably never change. The demands are consistent. We're not a yell scream practice. We're a high tempo practice, so he won't feel any differently Sunday, tomorrow, and Tuesday than he ever has. And so I think that's one of the reasons that he has responded to that really well. High tempo, a lot of reps. We have, a method to keep up with how much they run, what the length is, what their top speeds are, but what they call player load. And, he's capping out like Devon Edwards at practice. It's obviously paying off. You don't have to push him. He has a work ethic that he brings to work every day. That's one of the reasons he's done as well as he has.
After facing that challenge last week, your practices this week, how did the guys respond to what you wanted to take from that experience?
I thought it was great. I really did. I think our meeting last Sunday was right spot on. There was no anger, but there was a lot of passion and a lot of challenge and a lot of just emotion, that we know what we learned and what the circumstance was. How do we go about it? And that process hasn't ended. You don't get things fixed in a week. And so I'm anxious to see what tomorrow looks like. Our Sunday practice after Alabama was outstanding. I should say the same when y'all talk to me Tuesday. I expect there are a lot of teams around the country sometimes have a harder time practicing well after a win than you do after a loss. That's not, and it can't be this team. We can't afford that. And our guys are pretty consistent about how to practice. So I expect that. We're just really beat up. And we right now playing with 11 scholarship position players down, and we got a lot of people not practicing, haven't practiced. And it's some key components in key places. And, we got to keep moving and get Jake moving and get Ben Fry moving and get Jake Marweedy, and some of them aren't going to get moving like Gunner and there's a lot of guys, but we deserve to get a few people back. Nobody's that deep that you can keep. And then Shaka, couldn't go tonight. He was pure practice all week, and then he just said couldn't go. And so we were without a linebacker that we expect to be there. And it's an interesting time. Britton didn't last very long, and we'll see what that is. Noah Gray.
I'm sorry, Brett. Is that something new tonight?
No. He's dealing with an upper body injury, and when he got hit, he just couldn't go, and we're not going to push that. You know, he's wanting to continue, and, you know, if it's unsafe for him, we can't put him out there. But the numbers, if you should start doing the counting, get interesting.
David, you placed a lot of emphasis in golf season on forcing turnovers. You got a couple of fumbles and a block punt, which technically isn't a turnover, but it's kind of the same thing. Are you seeing signs that that emphasis is paying off?
We've got to do that. I gave a game ball to Trey Hornbuckle because one of my favorite plays in football is sack fumble. I love it. We don't say the word sack without saying fumble. I mean, every chance you have to sack somebody, you should have a high percentage of fumbles, and so he may make the rest of them believer out of what I'm saying. So I thought it was a big play in the game. Of course, we didn't take advantage of it, but I love seeing the play.
Quentin had a big game, obviously, for you tonight. I wonder, moving forward, how big a game might this be in terms of confidence?
You know, I think that it's becoming more and more his team, and they trust him, he trusts them. I mean, that's our offensive line is playing, you know, more consistent. We tried to play a lot of people. I thought our offensive line played really well against Alabama. That helps a quarterback have confidence. So let's just hope we keep pushing and growing, and the best is yet to come. Just can't surrender yards. And we surrendered really 66-yard run without anybody contesting it, and then 97 yards and penalties are always surrendered yards. Well, we can't do that. Unforced errors, isn't that what they call them in tennis? Far too many there. And you don't win at Wimbledon when you have too many unforced errors, right? Or Forest Hills, or where else do they play? Where, Australia? Am I naming all the big spots? Huh? When I used to watch, I watched all sports when I was a kid. So anybody know Rod Laver in here, that name? There's some young people going, left-handed beast.
All right, anything else?
Hey, Art, he had a forearm that a football player would have been proud of. You can Google it.